Everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. I hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you are watching or listening in from. And yes, indeed, I am right now live, and the market has gone up an exceedingly high amount. And the smart thing to do at this exact moment in time would absolutely be to bang a massive short because market always dumps when I go live. What is up to everybody who has been in the YouTube chat so far? Chris, Mitch, Enrique, Bo. Hope you guys are having a good one. And shout out to everybody who is tuning in on Periscope and Twitch as well. So as of the time of recording this, we are well over $5,000. As you can freaking see here, we are over $5,300 actually. And ETH is pushing up against $180. Litecoin has absolutely crushed. Bitcoin Cash has crushed it across the board. It's been crazy. Hold on. So it's been pretty awesome watching the market as a whole go up.
I've very much enjoyed it. It's been pretty sweet. It's been something that I've been pretty happy about, seeing myself not getting poorer and poorer over time.
But when it comes down to it, I am not at this point, really confident in us holding over
The $5,000 range. Had to play around with the new buttons, but not. We'll have to see how things end up panning out. But there has been a ton of volume, which has been good to see. And not only has there been good volume on the move up, but it has been pretty spread out across a number of different cryptocurrencies as well. So happy to see that. And obviously going to be talking and interacting in the chat. Shout out to Richard Holtzman, who sold his Litecoin at $30. That is a rough go around. Litecoin really, and shout out to Litecoin. Litecoin kind of led the way. Let's see if I can pull up the Litecoin in many respects kind of led the way out of the bear market. It was kind of one of the early indicators of that. I mean, Litecoin bottomed out at $22 in mid-December and is up 322% since mid-December, which is, pretty crazy. I remember it was a massive deal when Litecoin and voice mods adds to your credibility. I remember when, what's it called? The Litecoin broke $100 back in, I think it was December of 2017, and skyrocketed all the way to like $300+ Then Charlie dumped on everybody's head. But the fact that Litecoin is nearing $100 again is pretty incredible. And I mean, it's a super high valuation too. I mean, for what it is, it's pretty nuts. Looking at Roger's question, so there's a couple different things I want to talk about today, but isn't all the volume fake? So no, that's not true at all. So all the volume in cryptocurrency is not fake. I think that's one distinction, one differentiation that we definitely want to, you definitely want to make when you're looking at this just asset class, I guess in general is what we'd call it. So all the volume is not fake. On-chain FX, shout out to on-chain FX because they're always leading the charge with this. But if you look at this on the right-hand side, they actually have something called the reported 24-hour volume and the real 10 volume. So they will take all the reported volume for these cryptocurrencies of like all the exchanges that they essentially have. And then they also have what they call the real 10 volume, which is 10 exchanges that meet the criteria of what the Bitwise investment report that they put out to the SEC. But it's basically the volume from Binance, Kraken, Bitfinex, Coinbase, Bitstamp, Bitflyer, Gemini, Itbit, Bittrex, and Poloniex. And they put that together and then they combine that. So you can see that, for right now, the real 24-hour volume on Bitcoin is about $22 billion. However, the reported, the reported 24-hour volume is 22 billion. However, what is likely closer to the real volume is about $1.3, $1.4 billion. There's still a massive amount of real volume out there, but there is definitely a good amount of wash trading that goes on some of these kind of sketchy, shady exchanges that, we don't need to talk about. We don't need to kind of waste our time with. And one of the big things today that I think you definitely want to take note of, and we'll pull up Coin Center which if you guys don't follow Coin Center, I would definitely recommend you do so. But the SEC in the United States released a report on token guidance as well as the first no action letter. And the no action letter was for an ICO, but it wasn't really a full on ICO. It was a airline leasing company that was essentially selling tokens for their airline leasing, but they were only redeemable, or they were pegged to $1. It didn't have a ton of the characteristics of what you would traditionally think an ICO is, namely, hopefully making profit for a lot of people. That's why many people are interested in an ICO or seeding a decentralized network, or a lot of other components of that. But it was pretty big to see the SEC, number one, issue the no action letter, even though it wasn't a kind of true cryptocurrency or an initial coin offering. It did have a token on a centralized ledger, but that was one aspect of it. The other aspect of it was the SEC came out and released its crypto token guidance. And Coin Center, there were basically today was a wet dream for lawyers in crypto world. It was as Nick Carter on Twitter put it, it was the Super Bowl for crypto lawyers, because the second this came out, they were all just kind of rubbing their hands together and getting super excited about the opportunity to read this report and see if it either proves some theories correct, or kind of provide a clarification, help them out, maybe didn't help them out, whatever it might have been. But so this report came out. Coin Center, which is one of the kind of regulatory lobbying agencies in the United States that does a lot of work with the SEC, Peter Van Valkenburg, who wrote this report, has presented in front of Congress before, kind of on behalf of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, advocating for it. Coin Center advocates for a lot of that stuff. So if you don't check out Coin Center, I would definitely recommend you do so. I'll also put in the restream here as well a link to this article if you'd like to check this out. But Coin Center essentially put out their analysis of the SEC cryptocurrency guidance. They break down what it means for them. The bottom line, it is possible to fundraise by selling tokens in compliance with securities laws, and then have those tokens be clearly not securities when the promoter is no longer essential to the continued viability of the project. And here is their initial analysis. They have a kind of a whole bit about it, but it definitely doesn't provide a completely clear framework, but it is good to see this type of information come out from the SEC and some willingness there to kind of continue to work with this industry in the United States and not just shut things out completely. I personally have actually liked the approach the SEC has taken in many respects for this. So it's been nice to watch, and I think this has helped provide good clarity. Is this bullish? Is this bearish for people? That might be a question you might be asking yourself. It's definitely not bearish. I'll say that. It doesn't come out and say anything overly negative or overly different than we've heard. It provides maybe a tinge bit more clarity for technology operators in the space, especially in the United States, but definitely doesn't provide a perfectly clear picture for everybody. So taking a look at the comments here of what's happening. Let's have a celebration drink. So I am actually right now, unfortunately, again, I am drinking water. However, I'm meeting up with a couple people from Twitter for some beers and for some barbecue tonight in the city. So that'll be a good time. I'm excited about that, but wanted to obviously pop in here beforehand. And because I'm a lightweight now, because I haven't been drinking too much, figured, hey, I'll save the calories, drink some water on Crypto Happy Hour, and then I'll consume, maybe some whiskey and some barbecue, because that's what I enjoy doing. So, heyo. John Penn, do not joke about my mic being dead again. Do not do it. Do not do it. So, a couple different questions here. How much gas does the BTC rocket have? What I'm pretty interested in seeing right now is the balance of numero uno. How long can Bitcoin go? How long can this run for? There's pretty significance between like 5,500, 5,600. Is Bitcoin even going to get to that 55, 5,600 range? Can it push through? Can it get to the next level of resistance at around 6,000? I don't think that'll likely happen anytime soon. Seems like that'd be too much too soon, to be pretty frank. I don't necessarily know if that will happen, but if Bitcoin does pull back, I would anticipate it at least kind of staying in the mid 4,000s range. And then what happens there is that if Bitcoin does pull back substantially, does that give altcoins room to breathe? Are people going to take profits from Bitcoin, move those into mid, large, small cap altcoins, whatever it might be? Because as you can see, at least on the BTC ratio, a lot of altcoins that have done pretty well recently through the Bitcoin rally, they might have kept pace US dollar wise, but they've definitely sold off on a BTC pairing. Binance BNB token has sold off pretty substantially in the past 2 days from their really absolute all-time highs. It's down about 16%. Raven is down from the start of the Bitcoin rally. Raven coin is down 30%. I opened up a position today around 2,000 satoshis. I should have waited because that sucks. But I'm already down about 9% now. It's good. It's great. It's great. But I opened up a position on Tezos today. More of a position on Tezos. And shout out to the guy who always comments on all my YouTube videos, and he's like, "Hey, you asshole, you took a position in Tezos, and you're never gonna break even, and you're a big dummy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me that twice. I know I'm stupid. Like, don't tell me that twice." But I bought more Tezos today. Actually, I doubled my Tezos bag. And the reason I did such a thing was because number one, it pulled off pretty nicely from the top of the pump that it had, at least on a Bitcoin pairing ratio. But Tezos was recently added to Coinbase custody for staking, and it is also available in the near future on Binance's Trust Wallet to stake Tezos. So you can bake Tezos, but essentially you can delegate, you can earn Tezos while staking, baking them, whatever you want to call it. So in my mind, and this is a wild guess, this is pure speculation, but if you're Coinbase and you're Binance and you're adding Tezos, you're adding XTZ to staking, you've probably already gone through the legal due diligence to know Tezos is an asset you want to associate with. You've probably gone through you've obviously gone through the technical components of it, because you're basically allowing people to provide their keys to you to earn Tezos back. So you've gone through a lot of the technical issues, the legal issues most likely. What's the next step? Probably to start offering that on the exchange. And Tezos right now, at least, I mean, that was also one of the theses back when I originally bought it at like $2 before it dropped 75 cents and is now down, a cool 50 cents. But it's only, I mean, it's on Kraken with pretty low volume. It's on BitMax. I don't trust any volume on BitMax whatsoever. But it's really only on Kraken and Bitfinex, and everything else is, a little bit on HitBTC, but it's definitely not on Binance. It's not on Coinbase. And if it were to be listed on Binance or Coinbase, I think it'd have a hell of a run. That would be my best guess, and I think that might happen in the near future. So that is my best guess, and that's why I opened up or doubled my Tezzy bag, which so far today was not the best move because I did not do it at an opportune time, but such is life. As Crypto Supply Co. said, yay, no more sad hour. It is not sad hour at this point. Samuel Kings. People still listen to all these clowns. Yep. Clown at your service.
How's it going, Sammy boy?
I look forward to Samuel King buying bags at the top again. Do I still work for AirSwap? Yes, I do. I do indeed. And if you guys are, let's see here. If you guys are in New York for Consensus, or if you're just in New York full time, we're doing a Fluidity 2019. It's, I think, in my opinion, like the best value in crypto just from a conference standpoint. So if you are in New York, would highly recommend you check it out. There's a lot of good speakers at it. We got Joe Lubin from Consensus, Chris Berniski, Hayden Adams of Uniswap, Loy Liu, Kyber, one of the co-founders of Dharma, co-founders of Bancor, Blockstack, some folks talking about digital securities. Have Pomp. We have people from Galaxy Digital. Also have the head of Goldman Sachs's digital asset markets, HSBC, kind of all over the board. So if you're in town for that, I think that the tickets are $250 max, whereas basically everybody else's tickets are like freaking $1,000. So I would definitely, I'll be there if you're in the city for that. Would love to see you guys there as well. But yeah, and a lot of good stuff to talk about at that point in time. Simon DV, Bobby, do you use BitMEX and how do you do it in the USA? Nice try, IRS, Simon. So that's a good question, Jason. What are your thoughts? No. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin? Bitcoin's viability below $3,000, would it crash due to unsustainable energy costs? I don't think. I think we've pretty well established the lows on Bitcoin, in my personal opinion, and the lows of are in that 3,400 range. I don't think we're revisiting those lows necessarily or going underneath them. I think there's a lot of people. Shout out John Penn and some other folks out there that we're betting or just kind of waiting to buy a ton sub 3,000, maybe even sub 2,000. I would say that there is it's not a non-zero, it's definitely a non-zero chance, but I would say it's a minute chance that we see sub 3,000s at this point in time. I feel like we've established a good floor, but that's my best guess. RJ Jamal, I am not an XRP shill by any means, but what's the thoughts on SEC sending letters to crypto community, basically exonerating other crypto XRP and other cryptos? So I would assume that this comment is based on the token guidance that the SEC just released, and I'll definitely make it perfectly clear that the SEC did not exonerate XRP or other cryptocurrencies from potential issues in the future. There was nothing in that specifically mentioned XRP, to the best of my knowledge. Nothing in that really specifically mentioned a variety of other cryptocurrencies. And you could certainly debate that the guidance still applies very much to XRP and very much to the vast majority of other digital assets. And when you're still looking at the Howey test, you still have basically people participating with an expectation of profit, a centralized entity behind it. There are a variety of things that you can debate. So that's definitely something you want to consider. But nothing in this guidance relinquished anything to XRP specifically or to really a variety of other cryptocurrencies. We have to retest $750. I don't know where that necessarily comes from or what time frame that comes from, but I don't think Bitcoin is retesting $750 anytime soon. If you want to bet on that, go for it. But that would be my money is not on Bitcoin retesting $750 to fill some level of gap or something like that. And so there's two things I think that are interesting too when we're looking at just crypto in general right now. Is number one, keeping an eye on some of the trends, and this is definitely a lagging indicator. But if you have Bitcoin, and I know some people have looked at Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin, but even in the past 7 days, you've seen a pretty big spike up as of yesterday. Bitcoin in Google Trends, it went from 14 all the way up to 100. It's trailed off a little bit, but you've certainly seen some renewed interest in Bitcoin as a whole. Doesn't necessarily look all that incredible on a macro level, But that's one thing is keeping an eye on what happens with actual interest in Bitcoin. How does mainstream media play a part in that now that we have Bloomberg talking about cryptocurrency? Again, we have CNBC, you have Yahoo, you have all these places where the quote unquote normal people that are not watching this type of stuff on a 24/7 basis are going to are going to participate in this. So that's one thing I would definitely keep an eye on is what is the kind of mainstream just general trend? Are people starting to gain interest back into this? And the other thing that I will say is IEOs, I think they're the dumbest things ever. I think they're just a really bad distribution model personally. And the new hotness, the new hot thing in the streets is bragging about how fast your IEO or your initial exchange offering sells out. This I think the fervor really started with BitTorrent and Binance. So as you guys, I'm sure some of you remember, maybe some of you don't, but Tron or Justin Sun bought BitTorrent. BitTorrent did a token sale, but they did it specifically through Binance. And rather than calling it an ICO, initial coin offering, they call it an initial exchange offering or an IEO. So the IEO that occurred with BitTorrent was extremely successful. I think at a certain point in time, it was about 6x in USD value, still pretty much in the heart of a bear market. So it was very successful for both Binance and BitTorrent. Then there were two additional token sales that occurred through Binance in IEOs that were also successful. You had Fetch, which pumped really hard out the gate, was trading at multiples over its USD starting point, and you also had Seller as well, and I believe Seller sold out in 30 seconds. So that was Binance, and then you have what happened with Bittrex the other day, where Bittrex had VBK, which is Veriblock, and they offered Veriblock in a IEO as well, and I believe that sold out in about 10 seconds. And then yesterday or today, I think yesterday, today, you had what occurred with with KuCoin, where apparently KuCoin sold out Multivac in 2 seconds. So there's a number of issues with this. Number one, a lot of people are writing scripts and basically gaming the system. If you look here, I don't know the entire validity of these, but there are literally videos of rooms of basically employees working at like a company or just getting together and all sitting on computers next to each other and then like entering in the captcha at the same time and then getting it and buying it. And number one, that's obviously profitable for the people that are doing that because most of these cryptocurrencies are selling out very quickly and then they're immediately trading at multiples over their initial price. So that is definitely one thing you want to consider. I mean, if you even look, let's see here. If you even look here, somebody says, I'm selling my multivac at X2, PM me. So IEOs are, I think, a terrible distribution model because if you're actually trying to seed the network, they're great at pumping bags. They're not very good at distributing tokens to actually be used. Do you think this room full of people or all these people writing scripts are actually going to use the product? No, they're going to dump it for 2, 3, 4, 5x the second they have the opportunity to the first buyer on an exchange. So that's one of the issues. However, renewed interest, and I am not an advocate for this whatsoever, but this is the type of crap that pulls people back into cryptocurrency as well. Is you hear about Joe Schmo trading on Binance and going in and going to participating in the BitTorrent IEO and buying, let's say it was like $3,000 at the time, goes to 6x, and then boom, I just printed 15 grand. I printed more than that. I printed $18,000, whatever it might be. Printed a bunch of money, tell their friends, and then that happens with KuCoin. That happens with Bittrex. It's happening with all these different exchanges. So that's definitely something that I think might, for better or probably worse, be a source of regenerating interest in cryptocurrency. Reynaldo, what's up, my man? Thank you so much for that super chat. Always appreciate any beer money. I could use it this evening, so I appreciate that. I sold all my crypto last week for Lyft stock. Ramp Capital would like a word with you on Twitter because I hope to God that's a joke. Oh, no, I'm a pass hard on lift stock. I would short the living hell out of that. Come for the FOMO, stay for the memes and signposts. Damn. And so a lot of guys are, let's see, I'll move this to, a lot of folks are asking me to talk about a number of different cryptocurrencies today. And looking at I would say the large caps have really, in many respects, performed extremely well. You have Bitcoin Cash up 54% against the USD in 24 hours. That is absolutely nuts and pretty crazy. And Maximilian Herb, thank you for the question. I think that's a good question. So, hey, Bobby, which weight do you give TA in this market phase? I am not a technical analyst, as a lot of you guys know, but I do give a good amount of weight to technical analysis. And the reason I do give a weight is because there are not many ways to properly, or there really is not one established way to properly value a cryptocurrency right now. You can't point to one metric and say, this is the reason that this price is going to go up, or this is the reason that this is undervalued, or this is overvalued. You could look at certain fundamental components of things. You can look at maybe, hey, there's going to be a mainnet launch in the future. There's going to be a partnership, or this, that, and the other thing. But for the most part, there's no specific metric that you can look at from a technical analysis perspective, or from just just really any standpoint that everybody can collectively get to and agree on. Now, with technical analysis, in many respects, it's almost a kind of like a wisdom of the crowds, or just if enough people believe something is going to happen, or if enough people believe something means something, then the result essentially comes true. And that might happen with people over relying on a variety of indicators, whether people are waiting on a moving average, the 50-day moving average to cross above the 200-day for the golden cross, or if they're waiting for the price to break above a 200-day moving average, or if they say the RSI is super oversold, whatever it might be. I do give some validity because it's just the same people kind of using the same things and all betting on that things in a certain manner of that sort. So and Marcelo, what's up, brother? Hi from Ecuador. Hi from New York City. Would it be a good idea to buy at 5.5K, or do you think is it safe that a correction will hit us soon? What are you doing yourself? My advice, as always, which is not financial advice, but I dollar cost average. I think that is always the best move if you are not a phenomenal trader. If I'm just looking at like the overall kind of position as a whole for me, I'm looking at Bitcoin. I'm going to dollar cost average. If I don't think it's necessarily the best move in the world to perhaps buy. Bitcoin is up. What do we have here? Bitcoin is up 31% in 7 days. Would I advertise going all in right now? No, absolutely not. But do I think, perhaps buying with maybe 30% of what you want to the disposable kind of capital that you want to put into Bitcoin, maybe put 25% in today. See what happens tomorrow. If it goes down, put 25% in again. If it goes up, then you had a little bit of a lower cost average, but go in. I would just dollar cost average. I think that's the best way. That way you're not kicking yourself in the ass if something goes really wrong, and you're not as exposed as you would have been. If it goes up, yeah, that sucks, but it is what it is. At least you made some money. If it goes way down, at least you didn't go all in and you immediately lose money right off the top. Yes, my name is Crypto, not Financial Advice Bobs. That is absolutely. I'm checking out some of these comments here. And if you guys, like I said, I'm going out and grabbing drinks and barbecue with a bunch of people from Twitter, Crutches, Obstropolis. I think Donnie is going to be joining as well. So I'm saving my booze for then. But if you have anything good that you are sipping on, or if you're sipping on water like me, would love to hear it, as well as where you're watching in from. It's been a while since we've had this many people. Crypto's back. Bobby has 300 people live again. So a couple questions about just my portfolio and alts in general and things like that. I'll post an updated portfolio soon, Nick. Still mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'd say like 80% Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then a small amount in altcoins, like 25% of, or like other altcoins. Tezos is the big position, like my big altcoin position at this point. So that's the one that I kind of went even deeper into today, for again, better or for worse. Still have my Zcash, still have my Monero, but those are pretty small positions. But right now, my three largest positions are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tezos, with a smattering of shitcoins elsewhere. So, Mark Cook, good question. Why not Litecoin? Because I'm not smart and I didn't like making money. That's why. Dustin Lewis, is there good barbecue in New York? There's decent barbecue in New York City. There's a couple good spots. It's definitely not, I'm not going to say it's the South. I'm not going to say it's Texas barbecue or anything like that, but it's passable. It's definitely passable. It gets the job done. Valentine ended up making, actually, I still have a tiny bit of Numerai, but I exited most of that position after it pumped a pretty heavy amount. So, and so this is a good question too, Maximilian. Last year's label was that institutions or the herd, no regrets, quote, is or are coming. Are they coming? And I think yes. There are institutions coming to the cryptocurrency space. There is infrastructure being built out for this, but it's a slow, methodical approach. It definitely takes time, and it takes more time than people are expecting. So that's something that I think a lot of people didn't take into consideration, is just how slow some of these like larger banks and institutions need, as well as just the immaturity of the crypto space as well. Now, I know we got into an $800 billion valuation at the peak, but the infrastructure, when there was an $800 billion valuation, was still so nascent. There's still so much crap data. Like, shout out to companies like Masari and Onchain FX, Nomics, companies that are just building like real infrastructure in the space that provides real like live data that people can use and be confident in, rather than a lot of the crap data that people are, rather than a lot of the crap data that people are used to. So I do think that Wall Street as a whole will kind of slowly make their way, for better or for worse. That might be with trading desks, that might be for custody, but you have Fidelity making big moves. You have Backed, which is not here yet. It's, when back that thing up, but you have Backed making moves into the space. It's happening, and it's happening in a slow, steady, measured approach, rather than like the all-in-one thing that I think people, the problem was people wanted, because the price went up so ridiculously, people wanted to attribute, in many cases, that price move to, okay, the price is up, so I want to keep the price up. And even I think there were a lot of like very experienced or institutional investors, or like these VCs and people like that, who just made a ton of money. And the best way to hold on to that money is to for the most part, have the prices stay where they are. And how do you have the prices stay where they are? You come up with this narrative that, oh, wow, the institutions are coming and they're just coming tomorrow or they're coming next week. They're coming to save the day. Well, they're not necessarily coming to save the day. They're not coming tomorrow, but they're going to be here and they're going to be here eventually because for the most part, I do think they do want access to some of what Bitcoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies might entail in the future. So I'm taking a look at some of these questions. 10K and on BCH. Heyo. Where's BCH? Damn, RIP and peace, Tezos. What's up, Matt Wilhelm? Thank you for that, man. Appreciate that. What do we got? Let's pull this up. Pull up Bitstamp. That's crazy. That's awesome. So yeah, Ethereum for me is still like, I guess I'm not talking specifically about price appreciation here, but I do think Ethereum still has the lead when it does come down to like platform play. There is definitely more competition. There was an article, or there were a couple articles in the other week where it was talking about Vitalik. I think it was I don't know if it was I think it was a Bloomberg article, but it was not necessarily a hit piece, but kind of a hit piece on Ethereum. Whereas they quoted a bunch of investors and they were saying a number of different things about Ethereum either losing its lead and the competition being Tron, the competition being EOS, the competition potentially being Binance Chain. So there's a number of different competitors out there. I still think that Ethereum has the most developer mindshare. There is the most investment into Ethereum. Tron, I think the tech is not ideal. There's undoubtedly Tron has, from what I understand, one of the biggest treasuries in cryptocurrency right now, like over $1 billion, something like that, is the rumor on the street that Tron has in money to deploy. So that's something to think about. EOS obviously raised like $4 billion. So they have a ton of money to compete directly against Ethereum. Tezos is kind of slowly gaining a little bit of steam again. But I still, I guess, like if we're talking about actual use and kind of finding a real fit, I do think right now what Ethereum has found with like the decentralized finance kind of trend that's happening is really important and really pretty incredible to watch, and I'm excited about that personally. So it's still my most bullish play in the long run, but I'm not necessarily talking about price appreciation either. I think Justin Sun, as much as I don't like Tron, he markets the shit out of Tron, and not only Tron, but the TRX token. So if you're looking at price appreciation, and it's gotten whacked pretty good on its BTC pairing ratio, at least recently. So that EOS might be a bargain right now for some people. If we pull up EOS across the board, you're seeing pretty stiff competition for our friends at Ethereum. Oh damn. Scaradilly, I did not take a refund on props. I'm waiting for that distribution. What's your opinion on Neo? So, I mean, at least for me, I think Neo is kind of fallen behind in mindshare. I am not up to date on their development prospects, but when I think about the platform plays and I think about who has the best likelihood to potentially succeed there, I think about obviously Ethereum. I think about Tron because Tron has a ton of money in their war chest, and you can make things happen with money, as you saw with BitTorrent. So that's, I think about Tron, I think about EOS, I think about Tezos to some extent. Some people will, bring up Cosmos, um, Polkadot. So yeah, there's some commentary there that people are saying, hey, they might have moved to Ontology. Cardano is also another one, I think about a little bit. I haven't kept up to date as much on Cardano's development. I had a few short-term plays in the past month, but admittedly exited too soon. So that kind of sucks. But I had like an early on entry into Cardano in like the 1200 sat range, kind of back around here, and took profits too early. So such is life. But that's what happens. Leon, what's a good place to watch the charts? I like TradingView right now. TradingView is pretty good. I bought the like premium version, but I would recommend that. Cardano is going to moon. I mean, Cardano already has mooned from the lows at least. It's up. It still has plenty of room, I guess. Yeah. I mean, 115% in comparison. So we'll pull up again. On-chain FX is always dope, but we'll get rid of the current inflation. So percentage up since the lows. 4 months ago, Engine was we'll do large caps. So the best performing large cap is Binance since its low. It's up 360%. Bitcoin Cash is up 360% since in the past 4 months. Litecoin as well is up 326%. Ontology, speaking of Neo, Ontology is up 280%. Got EOS up 280%. Cardano up 270. I believe this is against USD, not Bitcoin, but I believe this is against USD, so that makes a little bit more sense. Tezos is up 200% against its low. So large cap cryptocurrencies right now have basically all bottomed out for the most part within the past. Most of them bottomed out 4 months ago. Some kind of had their low maybe 2 months ago, NEM, as well as Bitcoin Cash, SV. But the worst performing large cap cryptocurrency, at least in recent times, has been XRP. XRP is up only 48% against its low, whereas, and Bitcoin, even Bitcoin itself, BTC is up about 70% from the low. Chill some XTZ, me family. Yeah, I mean, me family too. I'm getting XTZ right now has been I should have waited a little bit to actually no, that's it's geez Cardano. Absolutely crushing it per usual. But now XTZ took a nice dive today. Just not been fun for you, boy. CK's gaming channel. What's up, CK? Bitcoin kicking ass all of a sudden. Why? There's a number of kind of theories around it. I mean, the big thing that happened was really thin order books and the push through 4,200 or resistance at 4,200. There were quite a few people that were playing this level right here because it was 1, 2, 3, 4, anticipating 5 times that Bitcoin would get shot down at around the $4,200 range. I think a lot of people are short, as well as the order books are pretty thin. Some people are pointing to, I mean, the ridiculous things that people are pointing to were number one, the April Fool's letter, which just be stupid, but yes. So the April Fool's thing was one thing people pointed to. Another thing people are pointing to was an article on Reuters that said that there was a $100 million order that somebody bought Bitcoin on exchange through, I believe it was Coinbase, Kraken, and Bitstamp. And what they did was they utilized smart order routing, which allows an individual or an entity, or a couple companies that do this now. Caspian is one. There's, I think, a few other out there as well. Tagomi is another one. But basically, it allows you to like register for multiple exchanges, and you say, I want to buy $100 million of Bitcoin, and the technology will automatically look at the exchanges that you want it to evaluate, and then acquire from all of those exchanges in separate components at the lowest price. And apparently, somebody went and bought $100 million of Bitcoin on Coinbase, Kraken, and Bitstamp at the same time. And some folks are pointing to that as one of the reasons that we really broke through hard, as to why they would, perhaps go through that and not do OTC, large OTC trade. I don't know what that might be. Perhaps they already had a large amount in OTC, and maybe they knew if they were to put an order in like this, it would pump the price, and there wasn't a lot on the books past where they anticipated getting through. I don't necessarily know, but it's, as I said yesterday, trying to figure out the exact reason in which Bitcoin has, the exact reason why Bitcoin pumped is typically a pretty futile effort. And there we are. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a Bobby live on Crypto Happy Hour. I mean, I wouldn't call this a dump, but yeah. No. I mean, people attributed people attributed that to the April Fool's joke, but there's, in my opinion, no way that a shitty fake article on financemagnates.com that you literally needed like sunglasses to avoid seeing all the ads encroaching on your face. I don't think that is the reason at all as to why Bitcoin and really the rest of the cryptocurrency market went up substantially. Yeah, somebody wants to see the monthly. Doesn't look too bad on a monthly chart, actually. And I think the one thing that, there's obviously a lot of technical indicators that people utilize, but I would say the one thing that is really the most trusted technical indicator in my mind right now is, I don't know if I don't think TradingView has added it yet at this point in time, but I'm calling it the Lopez Podcast Cloud Fractal Indicator. And essentially, what this means is that you buy cryptocurrency, you dollar cost average your way in, and you don't sell any until you see another Ty Lopez cryptocurrency podcast. And right now, we can pull it up. We can go to iTunes, and I believe the last Ty Lopez podcast. So this is not actually a crypto podcast, but the last Ty Lopez crypto podcast was on May 2018, May 23rd, 2018. So you are safe to accumulate Bitcoin. You are safe to buy cryptocurrencies at this point in time. According to the Lopez Podcast Cloud Fractal Indicator, it is very much a fantastic way to, fantastic way to go about your business. And in many respects, I really do think that I really do kind of believe that is that's kind of one of the ways where you start knowing, like, people are asking, I think now in the chat too, like, hey, do we know this is a bubble? Is this a bubble? Pete Fork, laughing at all you crypto broke. What's up, Pete? How's it going, man? Laughing at all you crypto broke. Meanwhile, they're probably riding around in a freaking 1994 Honda Civic with freaking carpet interior, olive shit brown $7 and a freaking prepaid debit card with a Motorola Razr from 2004. What's up, Pete? Yes. The TLPCF is a premium indicator. I think I'm actually working with a developer right now, and we are going to go through the process of we've developed an API. It's looking really good, and it is going to. I should actually probably just build a Twitter bot, and it's going to tweet out every single day. Every single day, I should do this. Actually, this is a great idea. It's going to be the Ty Lopez Cloud podcast, fractal indicator, whatever I called it, that I don't remember because it's a mouthful. But it'll be that, and it will literally just be a Twitter bot that tweets out every day. Did Ty Lopez release a crypto podcast? And he'll say no, no, no. And one day it'll just be like BitMEX wrecked, and it'll just be like mega kill, ultra kill. Oh my God, sell all your crypto the day it happens. Because at some point in time, again, it will happen. It will 100% occur. And when that does, sell it, sell it, sell it. Nasty J, what's up, man? Not a ton of price history between 5 and 6K. You are absolutely correct. That is very much true. You had pretty much a straight fall in November and a straight move up in October of 2017. There really is not a ton of price history there. How long were we even in the at least in November, we were in the $5,000 range for 5 days, and there was slight support in the $5,500 range that fell through. So that would likely be, according to what I would say most folks are saying, that would be the area where we're probably going to come up against some level of resistance. When that acted as support, it did not hold for very long. And it also isn't very significant price history, so I don't know how. I just don't know how applicable the past history is to what will happen right now. So it's up for grabs at this point in time. I don't think there's a ton of data there to make any decisions on that. Guys, if you are enjoying this video right now, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Helps get this video out to as many people as possible. I always appreciate when you guys do. And as a last bit here, so I think Crutch is about to get here at some point in time, but we got about 4 minutes left on this, or we'll go for about 10 more minutes or so, let's say. Price action on this is a lot more fun than it was when it was just flat, flat, flat. If you guys haven't signed up for HXRO, there is a wait list right now. Some of the people are starting to get added to it at this point. But if you sign up through cryptobobby.com/rect, you get 100 free tokens. That's like $8 worth. I think maybe $10 worth or so at this point in time of free tokens to play with. But you basically bet whether it's going to go up or you bet whether it's going to go down. And before we finish off here too, let me know if I should throw money on Moon or Rect. I'll go nuts and we'll throw 8 hundo on. See what happens here. Let me know if we're going Moon or Rect, and I'll make that move for you. But if you haven't signed up yet, there's also a big match or bet going on this evening with a bunch of expensive pots that are happening. So pretty cool payouts. If you guys want to give it a shot, definitely do that with the link. So we got 2 moons, 1 wrecked, 2 and 2. Not very decisive. Need some more there. Again, we're split right down the middle. No, we got 1 for moon. 1 for moon. All right, we're going moon. Screw it. We're moon. You guys want to go moon? We're going moon. So we got 800 on there. And then we got some. Let's go. Let's see what happens. So start shooting over some questions as well now that we're waiting on that bet to go through. See what ends up happening with our friends over at Moonrect. If you haven't signed up, cryptobobby.com/rect to get those 100 HXRO tokens and get added to the waitlist as they open that bad boy up. Hey, Bobby, if Bitcoin does correct significantly, will it pull all the altcoins down at the same time? Do you think Litecoin will hit $100 this week? So it depends on, I guess, the level of correction, I think, Phil. And that's really what I'm paying attention to right now is with what's happening with Bitcoin. If it pulls back, like let's say slightly, like if it pulls back and settles in like the mid to high 4s, if it settles in the low 5s, and some people start taking some profits, are they going to take those profits and move those into to fiat? Are they going to exit the system, or are they going to look to undervalued or not yet pumped altcoins? So that's something that I would definitely look at. Like if it's a slow, steady kind of move down with Bitcoin, and it's the money I think might flow back into some of the altcoins. However, if it's a sharp, steady pullback, kind of indicating, okay, this was a sucker's rally, I think you see the altcoins pull back, twice as hard as they went up. Typically, what'll end up happening, if it's a severe drop, damn, $31. Oof. Now we definitely got to bet moon here. Screw it, we're going 1,000. Let's make it happen, boys. Let's make it happen. Pray for me. Pray for me. Shit, it's dropping. Uh-oh. That's an ugly candle. There's your crypto Bobby's alive. $80 in a 5-minute candle. Come on, boy. Sit for a second. Sit. Give me a nice price to bounce. Come on, moon. All right, let's roll. Let's go, moon. Let's go, moon. Hold for 5 minutes. We're good. With a 2.69 payout. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Get it, baby. Come on. I love Moonrect is the best. It really is. It is. I say it's the best, but we're moon by $19 right now. Like with a minute left, it's just gonna dump off, and I'm gonna eat it. But hey, let's be happy for now. Let's enjoy. Let's pray. This is the lowest form of degenerate gambling. Yep. Welcome to the party, baby. Welcome to the party. Reynaldo, what's up, man? What exchange prices does it use? So I believe I'll pull it up. The prices and scoring. So they use pricing data. They have what they call the HXRO Bitcoin Index, but they use there it is. Yep. So they use a price feed. It's a combination of the price feed between BitMEX, the perpetual swap, and Coinbase. So I think those are two pretty. You have BitMEX, which is really, I think, in many cases, a large amount of the price discovery action now, and then you have Coinbase. So a pretty good pricing indicator, at least at this point. And Thomas, that's a good point too. So that's one of the things that I think a lot of people forget about or don't want to take into account. And granted, I'm not saying this is going to happen by any stretch. I'm not betting that I'm going to eat my own hot dog if like Bitcoin goes up or whatever. But when Bitcoin and when cryptocurrencies go up, they typically go up in a ridiculous fast time period. When you had the altcoin run in January of 2018 or December of 2018 or December of 2017, like that was a rapid move where like if you weren't in it very quickly, you missed it. Same with Bitcoin. Like when Bitcoin and when cryptocurrencies move, it tends to happen very quickly. So I think that's something you do like want to consider. Sometimes it, in certain situations in the past, it has been a slow burn. But if you also look at kind of the big bubble that everybody loves to refer back to now, or the biggest bubble that there really has been in the cryptocurrency market, that was a super fast move. And Nasty J, thanks for the super chat, brother. Yeah, Moonrack definitely would send a scratch off addict to rehab. And I think there even is, if I pull up on Twitter too, I think, who is it? Crypto Dale, Ledger, and Sicarius are playing tonight. So they have, I think that's literally live tonight at 9 p.m. Central Time. If you go on the Crypto Street Podcast YouTube channel, they're playing live and they're doing like a 2-on-2 game where Ledger and Sicarius are playing against, I think it's, Mike Double Spending and Dale from Crypto Street. So that'll be, if you guys are around, probably be another good crypto happy hour to get your degenerate fill in. But right now, unless it dumps off, your boy is in decent shape right now. So thank you to the folks who said, thanks to the folks who said Moon, because, I mean, hey, hell yeah. Why would you invest in Bitcoin, the underlying, when big money gets higher profit from shorting? I don't think that question really makes sense. There's higher profit from shorting. There's limited upside in some cases to shorting, and there's kind of there's limited upside to shorting in many respects, and there's unlimited upside to being long the spot asset if you kind of have thoughts about where Bitcoin could potentially go. Take the W home. Take the W home. We're back. There we are. What did I just get paid out? Enough. Thank you. Thank you for the moon boys out there, for the people who wanted me to go wrecked. I am thankful I didn't listen to you. I'm very happy about that. But until then, folks, I am, like I said before, I'm heading to grab some barbecue and beers with some of the crypto homies from Twitter. So looking forward to chatting with them about what's happening in the market, getting some thoughts and some feedback as far as what they're doing, how they're playing things. Would love for you to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed hanging out here. And hope you guys have a fantastic day or night, wherever you're watching in from. Good luck. Hopefully the market stays in a direction that is beneficial to you. Hope you guys take it easy. Peace.